Our friends from Ad Lib Music are here. They are a group of worship coaches. And Dave and Jim and Jeremy are here. Hi, guys.
Hello. Good morning.
And they're happier now because they all have coffee. And they're celebrating appropriately. Dave Helmuth is here. He's the founder and a worship coach for Ad Lib Music. And Dave, just fill us in a little bit about what Ad Lib is all about.
Sure. Well, if you're involved in worship ministry at all in a church and you've ever wondered, is there anybody that can help us? The answer is yes. We have created this group of coaches and different training systems and events to help strengthen the church, to help equip musicians, to help develop leaders, to help build teams. And we are set on eradicating isolation and burnout so that leaders bear much fruit. And that's what we do. We started here in Lancaster County. Actually have a couple coaches out in Ohio as well. If you might know Brian Campbell,
he was just at Creation.
That's right. He's one of our coaches as well. We're launching into Philly soon, so there's a lot of need out there. A lot of churches that need help, of course. All of us coaches are all serving at a local church as well. So there's lots of different things that we do, and I think sometimes churches, wonder like, well, would you want to help us? Because like we're not very good,
or we're different, or we
or
small,
or we're just getting started. We have a tiny band, or we have no band at all, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the reality is that that's really what we're wired to do. We're wired to help churches who have an existing ministry who are doing well and we just want to get better. We're able to help churches that are just getting started and trying to launch a new contemporary service. Or maybe to strengthen their band that's just, a 3-piece and they just, can you help us find more players? Those kinds of things. And each of our coaches is uniquely suited to help with specific things. So we often, will assign a certain coach who's really gifted in a certain area to do that. And Jim is especially one of those that really can help a team who is smaller or just forming to really grow.
Jim Rahowski is with us, and he's one of the worship coaches. Jim, so tell us a little bit, walk us through the mechanics of developing a team. How's that work?
Well, when we get started with a location, it's very important to build relationships and to get established and get to know the team that you are working with. And like Dave said, sometimes it's a small church or sometimes it's a new church with trying something different. And I had an experience over this last year where I worked very closely with a church that was starting a band, fresh band. It was brand new, and they had some people who were interested. But the whole point of being there for me was developing them, not just as musicians, which it was great to train and help them see them grow and add some people, but developing them as individuals and seeing the team really feel like the purpose of worship and the call of why they were there. And it was amazing to see that. And so when we go places, we really try to instill not just growing or not just understanding what you're doing better, but developing you as a person and developing what you can contribute to the team of the church.
They just need somebody to walk alongside, and that's what we do. We walk alongside them. So a couple different things that we do, just to give you a clearer picture of what it is. We've started a number of different worship leader groups that meet once a month, and those are just over a meal at a local restaurant. So we have groups that meet in Lancaster City, up in Reading, in Strasburg, in Lidditz, Ephrata, a group that meets in Harrisburg, one in E-Town. We're going to start one that's just for women. So lots of worship leading groups.
And I know a lot of folks who go to these groups that just love it because, like you said, they feel like I'm the only guy at my church that gets me.
Right. Right. Exactly.
The musician worship leader guy, and getting together with other people. It's a way to be able to share ideas, to commiserate in some ways,
Yep.
and not to feel so isolated.
Right, exactly. And then we get really practical too. So do a lot of training, a lot of coaching. We'll, if you're looking to hire a worship leader, we can help you with that. If you're needing us to lead a retreat or something for your worship team, or if you just need somebody to fill in on a Sunday morning to get, we have those kind of resources. And what happens is a lot, we just stop paying attention to things. We went into this one church and they have these radiators. It was over the wintertime and they were just like, hissing loud. Like, how can you even pay attention to anything? And we asked the team, like, did you guys, like, can you, and they're like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't even notice it anymore.
What hiss?
Yeah.
What hiss? Exactly. And so that's a good metaphor for this, the way we do things. We just stop noticing.
Yeah.
So the service evaluation is kind of like a secret shopper service that we do. We'll come into, a Sunday morning and just observe, so that we can know, like, why do guests not keep coming back?
Right.
So we also do that we also will come to your church for we call it a rehearsal coaching, and where we actually help your team do better.
God, it has been quite a year. I've lived a little bit and I've died a little more. I know that I've asked it before. Please let the scale tip here in my favor.
Jeremy Grafe is with us. He's one of the worship coaches. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about that process and some of the things that you've helped churches with.
Sure. So a lot of the time for rehearsal coaching, we'll show up, and just like the radiator, sometimes we have habits or we have patterns that we fall into as a worship team. So maybe we've got a keyboard player that overplays, and they're not leaving any room for the bass player to really shine through. So a lot of the time, we'll sit back and offer a couple of suggestions to maybe produce the sound a little bit better and help people improve musical choices. But oftentimes, what we realize is there might be like a symptom that presents itself with the music, but what the real underlying problem is communication. Right. So one of our jobs is to try and improve the relational piece of any team, to try and get them to start talking to each other, kind of call the ball, if you will.
That's good.
So awesome.
And the thing is that, usually you don't have somebody sitting out there just listening.
Right.
Everybody's just playing an instrument and they're focused on what they're doing.
Right.
So to have a fresh set of ears is so helpful.
Yeah. And one that's not involved in the worship team and the history and all the relationships that can give a view.
Yep.
An open opinion. And Dave, if folks are listening and they want to be part of one of your groups that gets together of worship leaders, or if they're interested in having one of you guys come out to the church and help them develop a team or maybe give some goals for their team, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can go to our website, which is just adlibmusic.com. You can get some free chord charts there. About 1,200 free chord charts.
That's a couple.
So there's plenty. And, if it's hiring a worship leader you're looking for, or coming in and finding somebody to lead worship on a Sunday morning, or doing some training for your team, all those kinds of things we're here to help with.
Happiness is somewhere I've been before. A blurry photograph that I've since ignored. I'll carefully adjust the aperture once more until I set the record straight.
Also, Dave brought along some of these books that you wrote a chapter for. Tell us about the book.
I did, yeah. Tom Kreuter put together a group of 10 worship leaders from around the country saying, can you tell stories about mentoring worship leaders, and can you give us some practical how-tos on what that actually looked like for you?
Yeah.
So we each put from our different perspectives, a story and a methodology. So hopefully somebody can take the book and reading through it, both be inspired, but then also actually figure out how to do it. How can you actually mentor another worship leader?
Guys, thanks so much for being here today.
It's our pleasure.
We loved having you.
I do better when there's a camera on. I feel more at peace.
I understand. I totally understand. 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's where you're live, but so you're on a stage.
Oh, yeah.
Zero
so
feedback.
weird. Yeah,
It's
there's no
very
feedback.
strange.
There's no, audience participation. Did I just hear you gasp?
There is, but it's in your mind.
Yeah. You just laughed at that, didn't you? Oh, I see you. Yeah, picking your nose there. You think I can't see you?
In the Subaru? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna kill like 3 people right there.
That's perfect.
For the love of God and all that is holy, put down the book.
Shit. Hey. You're listening to the radio and driving. Stop texting. Thanks.
I can't tell you how many times I pull up to a traffic light or a stop sign and somebody is doing that, and you just want to.
I used to work as an art mover in Philly. And, I mean, we're talking downtown rush hour, like 9:15, 2 blocks away from the courthouse.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm riding shotgun in the truck, and I look over, and some lady is doing a crossword puzzle. Honestly.
While she's driving.
And, I was in a state of cognitive dissonance for a few seconds before I could even say anything. I was like, Bill, she's doing a crossword!
So why does Art Garfunkel need moved in Philly, and why do you have a shotgun?
That's a good question. Well, Art, he's been very bitter since he's not working with Paul.
Yeah, I mean,
his career never really recovered, and
right.
The reunion wasn't really received very well. So the shotgun, you really want to keep him away.
Okay, and so it's not to protect him; it's actually to protect yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
I understand that. 40 seconds.
Very
So
bitter.
Lisa's going to do the weather, and we are going to chat. Then we're going to do a giveaway.
There's no bed, right? There's no music bed under us talking. It's just
No.
Just our sick voices.
I'm
Yeah.
not sick.
It sounds more personal when it's without music.
Yeah. If they sniffle,
As opposed to
and
Radio
act their
Front
way
Phil.
through-
You can't
Right.
talk without a music.
right, exactly.
Here we go. Andrew Peterson, you'll find your way. Audio Adrenaline, Love Was Stronger, and Dan and Lauren Smith on your side. Good morning. It's 7:50.
Partly sunny today, highs near 81, a very slight chance of afternoon showers. Then cloudy tonight, a little better chance of overnight showers, low 62. 81 for the high tomorrow, mostly cloudy, chance of morning showers. Mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday with highs in the low to mid 80s. Right now it's 60.
Our very special guests from Ad Lib Music, Dave, Jeremy, and Jim are here, and they're happier now because they all have coffee. And they're celebrating appropriately. Dave Helmuth is here. He's the founder and a worship coach for Ad Lib Music. And Dave, just fill us in a little bit about what Ad Lib is all about.
Sure. Well, if you're involved in worship ministry at all in a church, and you've ever wondered, is there anybody that can help us? The answer is yes. We have created this group of coaches and different training systems and events to help strengthen the church, to help equip musicians, to help develop leaders, to help build teams. And we are set on eradicating isolation and burnout, so that leaders bear much fruit. That's what we do. We started here in Lancaster County. We are over in Dauphin County, up in Berks County as well. Actually have a couple coaches out in Ohio as well. If you might know Brian Campbell.
He was just at Creation.
That's right. He's one of our coaches as well. We're launching into Philly soon, so there's a lot of need out there, a lot of churches.